Hey guys, got another Heart Gold battle here today, this time against Merman. Now, I've upgraded my video and audio quality a bit, so hopefully you'll notice some kind of difference this time around. Anyway, I'm going to lead off with my Icy Wind Gengar, which is a really cool lead set, by the way. He sends out an anti-lead Machamp, so major props for being original. Now, I know a payback is coming, so I decided to go directly to Metagross. Metagross has really high physical bulk, so I know I won't have to worry about it taking too much damage. I just decided to go for a Meteor Mash here because it's a definite 2-hit KO, and as an added bonus, I don't have to worry about it missing because Machamp has no guard. He's going to try to do a Dynamic Punch here, but I don't really mind because my Metagross has a Lumberry, which will cure the confusion effect. Now, I'm not really sure if he's going to switch out here, so instead of setting up Stealth Rock, I just decided to play it safe and finish him off with a second Meteor Mash. So that is going to take care of Machamp. Yeah, F you, Machamp. By the way, I would recommend everyone stop using Lead Machamp because I find it to be really outdated in the current metagame. So he sends in a Gyarados next. For some reason, I decided to stay in Stealth Rock. I know that I could survive a Waterfall, but thinking back, I think probably switching to Suicune would have been a better idea considering it checks Gyarados so nicely. But yeah, I set up my Stealth Rock. He does finish me off with Waterfall. I didn't want to do too much risky switching, so I just decided to sacrifice Metagross here. Probably not the best move considering I could have kept it for an explosion later. So I send in Suicune. Instead of using HP Electric, I go for an Ice Beam, just in case he decided to switch to a Grass type, because Fire Water Grass cores are actually that common. Instead, it turns out to be a Bronzong. Get a crit, kind of annoying. I just use Hydro Pump. I didn't see leftovers on that Bronzong, so I think it's going to be either Trick Room or Dual Screens. So he does set up Trick Room right here, which confirms my suspicions. Since he's at really low health, I think he'll use Explosion. So I switched to Gengar to take that, and I'm amply rewarded, which is really nice. The worst thing that could have happened was a Gyro Ball, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have tried to use that on a Suicune. He sends in a Blissey next. That's actually going to outspeed me in Trick Room, so I just decided to switch to Shaman. However, instead of a Thunder Wave, he uses Flamethrower. But that's still not too bad for me because my Shaman actually has max HP EVs, and Blissey's a pretty weak attacker, so that didn't really do much to Shaman at all. This is a Leech Seed plus Protect Shaman set, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon sets of all time, so you'll find it recommended a lot by me and my team rates. He tries to go for an Ice Beam, but again, that won't do too much, and I do get Leech Seed. Instead of walling me, Blissey's going to actually turn into a giant health tank, so he's going to have a pretty hard time dealing with Shaman now. Because Blissey has such a high HP stat, I'm going to get a ton of recovery each turn from Leech Seed. You'll see that it recovers me to pretty close to full health, especially with the leftovers recovery in conjunction with that. Now he goes for a Thunder, and I really wasn't expecting that, but it doesn't exactly help him at all. I mean, it's not very effective, and even if he got the 30% paralysis chance to go off, Shaman has natural cure, so just switching out would cure me of that. While Blissey is not really going to be able to wall me, I won't be able to get past it either, especially since I have a lot of special attackers on this team. Now I do get the Trick Room to go off, so that's really nice. I decided to go to Heatran, and my initial plan was to use Explosion here, but that might be a bit too obvious, so I decided to scout for any moves that he might make first. I do get the Leech Seed recovery again, which is really nice. Plus, Thunder didn't paralyze me, and Heatran doesn't exactly appreciate being paralyzed anyway. So, instead of an Explosion, I just use Fire Blast, just to scout his switch-in. It does turn out to be Gyarados, who is normally a really good Heatran switch-in, but with Stealth Rock and that powerful Fire Blast from the mild-natured Heatran, it's going to do a ton of damage to Gyarados anyway. Now at this point, I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure and will therefore use Waterfall instead of Dragon Dance. With this in mind, I go to Shaman to take that Waterfall. I know I'm going to be able to outspeed Gyarados and finish him off with Seed Flare. Just in case he decided to switch back to Blissey, I would have Leech Seed, which would take care of that. He does get a useless crit, but it's not that important, especially since it's kind of payback for that earlier Bronzong Ice Beam crit. Now, I don't think he would really switch. I just got a feeling, so I stay in and use Seed Flare, and that is going to outspeed and take out Gyarados. Good job, Shaman. So, what's he gonna send in next? That does look like Blissey again. Now, that's not really a problem considering I'm just gonna set up Leech Seed again, so I get my recovery back up. He goes for Thunder, misses. Now you can see he's having some problems with Shaman. Evidently he was expecting the standard Life Orb set instead of this set. So you can see the importance of using Pokemon or sets that are slightly less popular is really important. Now I'm just looking for another opportunity to bring in Heatran so he can explode on Blissey. Now he uses Thunder again but misses. Thunder doesn't really have good accuracy, and I don't really know why he's using an offensive Blissey anyway. Not exactly a good idea. I decide to scout one more time for any switch-ins to Explosion, just by using Earth Power this time, but apparently he's not switching out, so I think it's going to be pretty safe to use Explosion. Just to seal the deal, I get paralyzed by Thunder, so Heatran becomes a bit less useful now. I think Explosion's going to be a pretty safe move to use at this point, so that is going to be the next move that I make. Leech Seed recovers me to full health again, and then he actually withdraws Blissey, much to my surprise, and sends in an Octillery, which I really wasn't expecting. I mean, I know Octillery was pretty good in 5th gen with Inconsistent, but this isn't 5th gen, so, well, okay then. Octillery is not as useful as Blissey, but I did get to get rid of another one of his team members, and Blissey's at really low health now anyway. Because of this, my next team member that I show is going to be something that can finish off Blissey. So it's actually my Infernape, which I'm planning to clean up his team with, considering he only has 2 Pokemon left. Now he left Blissey into that close combat, so it kind of makes me suspect that his last Pokemon is something that I can sweep through with Infernape. As you'll see, it turns out to be an Umbreon, which is really nice for me. Even after the close combat defense drops, I'm not going to be KO'd by Umbreon, so I just decide to stay in and finish him off. Now, I don't quite beat him because Umbreon has really high defense, I guess, but I am going to be able to finish him off with a 2-hit KO. He's going to try to go for a payback here, but it won't do too much damage considering I'm at -2 defense. Only around half, actually. He gets the leftovers recovery, but I finish him off now for the 2-hit KO with close combat, and that is his last Pokemon, which should win me the game. So, good game, and thanks for watching, everyone.